Hi, welcome to this channel. My name is Kitty. In this channel, we explore history and philosophy, not independently, but just how ideas and worldviews evolved over time. Currently, we're in a Renaissance series. We're exploring Renaissance and Renaissance ideas, Renaissance figures. We chose Renaissance because it is the time where our modern world was born. It was the birth of our current modern world. So to understand this world we're living in, it's really important to kind of have an idea of where it all started. We're exploring Renaissance figures, and today we're going to explore Erasmus, Desiderius Erasmus. He was a great Renaissance man, a Christian humanist, a clergy, a churchman, and also a scholar. Renaissance is about the revival of Greek and Roman culture, of sculpture, painting, worldview, philosophy, everything about Greco-Roman culture was being revived, and that's because the core idea of humanism is that human beings are capable of understanding their world. Our understanding of our world shouldn't be shaped by what we're told by authority figures. It is questioning authority figures, it is questioning prevailing thoughts, it is actually going back to original sources. For example, in the case of Christian humanism, it is questioning the teaching of the church and questioning it and actually going back to the original writings of the Old and New Testament, the Greek writings of the New Testament, and just exploring the real idea and the real message of Christianity, not the one that is prevailing, not the one that was being taught by the current Catholic Church, but exploring the idea from the root, from the very source. And so humanism was like, not only Christian humanism, but humanism in general is putting people at the center and exploring and learning and reviving the philosophy, because the Greek and Roman philosophies were basically, they were about understanding our world, right? It is why is nature the way it is? It is physics, mathematics, astronomy, but also why society the way it is, right? It is exploring what morality is, what authority is. And so in the case of Erasmus, like I said, he's a Christian humanist. He is calling for like original Christianity, like the OG Christianity, not the one that we see in the church, because the church then was like corrupt somehow, and it was really like, so a lot of superstitious practices were seen, and so the church was kind of pivoting from the real teaching of, or the real message of the Gospels. And so he was about a life lived through the philosophy of Christ. Well, today we're going to specifically explore The Praise of Folly. The Praise of Folly is a famous work of Erasmus's. It is extremely funny, but also extremely informative and just very deep and very it's just a beautiful book. We're going to look at it today. We're going to kind of explore the literary style of it. So let's do that. Let's delve in. So Erasmus, when he wrote this book, In Praise of Folly, he was traveling from Italy to England to see his friend Thomas More, Thomas More, Utopia, the famous friend of his. And so they were scholars, and he was traveling to see his friend, and on the way he was like, I'm not gonna waste my time just in useless small talk. I'm going to write this, I'm going to draft this book in dedication for my friend. So he wrote In Praise of Folly, or Morai, I don't know how it's pronounced, but I think it's Greek, Morai encomium. And so first of all, Moria, the name Moria was a pun on his friend's name, Thomas More, so it was a pun on Morai, and it was in dedication for him. And this book was drafted in a really short time, and then he actually, when he arrived in England, he kind of organized it, and now we have In Praise of Folly, the book. It is a genius combination of satire, irony, and mock encomium. And so we're going to explore what those things are and how Erasmus used those to kind of deliver his ideas, or to deliver his message. First of all, the literary devices Erasmus used really signify how much the Greek and Roman culture of literature, expression was reviving, and even symbolisms, because In Praise of Folly. The book is In Praise of Folly, right? But who is Folly? Why is she being praised? So Folly is a figure. She is a goddess of foolishness. So it is like the Greeks and the Romans had gods and goddesses, and they represented something. Like Athena represented wisdom, Aphrodite represented love and beauty, and so in this case, Folly represents foolishness, and so he kind of made her a figure, Folly a figure, and so he used her as a goddess that is basically responsible for every foolish act, that is responsible for foolishness. And so he's critiquing society, right? He's kind of delivering his idea or his view on society, basically critiquing society, and so he does it through folly. He's using this, he's representing his ideas through folly. He's not saying it directly, but the whole voice of this work is Folly. Folly is speaking. The whole work is narrated by Folly, and so it is like, actually it's like a speech being delivered by Folly. And what kind of speech? It is praise. Folly is praising. What is she praising? Folly is praising foolishness. She's like, oh my goodness, foolishness is so great. You are very welcome. I grant you this beautiful thing, foolishness. And so she's praising herself, she's praising her work, her influence, and humans and gods and all kinds of humans, and the common people, and the church clergies, and the scholarly communities, like, and kings and knights. And so she is like, I am really powerful. I am really powerful, that other gods, when they're being worshipped, they are worshipped in a specific temple and in a specific act of ritual. But me, that's not the case. The whole world is my temple, because everyone worships me every single day. Every commoner, every ordinary person, every clergy, every king, every god, they even worship me because I influence every human act. And so she's like praising herself. That's what Folly does. But it's not as simple as that. It goes on to use another literary device. This device is called encomium. So the thing is, it is absurd that foolishness is being praised, right? Like, why is foolishness being praised? Like, it's wisdom that should be praised, and foolishness should be frowned upon. It is something negative. Foolishness is like holds a negative connotation, and so you wonder, so it's like maybe he's using encomium. Encomium is a literary device in which you give genuine praise to something unworthy, and with the goal of exposing its absurdity. It is praising drunkenness. It's like, drunkenness is so good. You get to forget all your problems, and you get to hurt people without having to remember. That's encomium. I'm not actually praising drunkenness, but I'm kind of exposing how absurd it is. I'm kind of critiquing it by mocking it, praising it. I'm kind of like fake praising. And so you would assume that by looking at that, Erasmus or even Folly is praising foolishness, but mocking it. It's like she's not praising it to praise it. She's genuinely praising it, but like, maybe she's like praising it to expose how awful and absurd it is. That's what you assume first, because foolishness is foolishness. Why is it being praised? But then we go to the second literary device he uses, which is satire. Satire is a literary device that is used to critique or to humble or to like ridicule a certain powerful figure without by using humor, exaggeration, irony, and other devices. And so it is basically like the movies we see, like the Dictator. What else? It's basically critiquing something powerful, a figure that is too powerful to kind of directly critique, but using humor and exaggeration and irony to kind of deliver it in a manner that is capable of being digested, capable of being understood, and capable of even critiquing that figure really harshly. Like, and the goal of satire is usually calling for change or just simply exposing the absurdity of a certain figure or a certain phenomena. And so the book In Praise of Folly is basically it's a work of satire. It is a type of satire known as Horatian satire, that is a kind that is humorous or that is funny. It exposes a foolishness, or it exposes society. It exposes the ridiculousness of things or society using humor. So when we look at In Praise of Folly, it's a work of satire. It is praising foolishness and critiquing wisdom. But what is the goal of that, right? It is satire. It is exposing, when praising foolishness, it is exposing the foolishness of authority figures, the foolishness of fake like scholarly communities, the foolishness of common people. It is basically an exposure in a funny way. And so it is a work of satire. It's supposed to like critique. It is a sharp critique using humor. And so that's Folly is really funny. When you read the book, it's like the kind that just makes you laugh, because Folly exposes the foolishness and the absurdity of the world in a manner that is just really humorous. And so that is we kind of see the Roman and Greek influence of satirical works in this book. And so it doesn't stop here. There's a third literary device that kind of shifts the whole thing. That is irony. So irony is a literary device that kind of shows that the expected result and the actual result of something is contrary. Like when a fire station catches fire, you don't expect that. Like a fire station doesn't catch fire, but it's ironic, right? It is, you don't expect something, but then it actually happens to be the opposite of what you expected. It's irony. And so in this case, when we say Erasmus uses irony, it is that foolishness is commonly known as something negative, right? And wisdom is something positive, something great. And so, but in this case, foolishness is positive and wisdom is negative. And you kind of get this idea at the end of the book. It's a kind of idea, it's a kind of book that you just understand as you read, and it kind of leaves you confused at times, but then you're like, oh, that's what he means. Oh my goodness. That's the kind of book it is. And so it's ironic. It is, you expect Folly to be the foolish one, an awful figure, because she's a goddess of foolishness. She's supposed to bring awful things to people, because foolishness is a bad thing. But ironically, she brings good things to people, because foolishness is a good thing, and wisdom is a bad thing. She kind of people that practice wisdom and just live wisely, those people are actually like the foolish ones. And so it's ironic. And so, but it doesn't mean that in this case we shouldn't misunderstand Erasmus saying that, oh, so he praised foolishness and he critiqued wisdom. That's not the case. The actual reality is that foolish things are actually what are true. Foolish things are actually what are good. For example, self-love. Self-love is seen as something foolish, right? Because you're okay with not liking people, but when it comes to yourself, you love yourself. You self-flatter. You assume that you're a good person. You assume that you kind of cover up your own blemishes, and you assume that you're a good person, and that kind of keeps you functioning in society. Because if you hate yourself, you're not capable of liking yourself. You're not capable of presenting yourself in society. You're not capable of just basically being human. Trust me, I've done that. But if you love yourself, even when you're not a great person, basically, when you have your own blemishes, when you have your own your own flaws, when you love yourself regardless, you'll be able to function in society. You'll be able to present yourself without shame. You'll be able to have confidence. And so this self-love even is a result of foolishness. You're blinding yourself to your own flaws, right? But this foolishness brings society joy, bring people joy. People are confident and they're not ashamed of themselves because Folly does this for them. And also, Folly raises this one example that is just funny. The thing is, when people fall in love, they assume, because of love, because of how foolish love is, they assume, or they totally believe that their partner or their lover or the person that they love is just the most beautiful, the greatest, just a perfect human being. Basically, that's what they assume, because this foolishness of love covers up the blemishes, covers up the flaws of the other person that you love. And so because of folly, people are able to like flatter each other, people are able to tolerate each other, not because they're wise, it's because they're foolishly in love, blindly in love. They'll be able to love even the most annoying and nagging person. They'll be able to love even the most conventionally unattractive person or something. And so folly is like, I do that for you, you're welcome, because I make you fall in love with someone that is just completely not worthy of falling in love with, and you get to live happily, you get to live joyfully because of this foolishness. And so by giving these examples, Erasmus kind of voices that the foolishness is considered by the world as negative and awful is actually what brings society joy and peace and just, good things. But wisdom, this full wisdom of like being superstitious or torturing yourself, separating yourself from society, and just living a life of just full wisdom to kind of get people to appreciate you, get people to think that you're so cool and you're so different, kind of the social performance that is seen by the world as wisdom and as just great thing. He actually gives an example of the church monks that kind of torture themselves and that wear that wear a certain kind of garment and that act a certain type of way for people to praise them and for people to see that as wisdom and for people to like appreciate them and love them, and just this is seen by the world as wisdom. This is seen as the world as the peak of a wise person, but in actuality that is what is awful, that is what is foolish. So it's ironic, what's considered foolishness is actually great, what's considered wisdom is actually silly and absurd. And so in this case the script is completely flipped. Folly is not the villain here, Folly is actually the hero of the story. She saved the world by giving us foolishness, by bestowing upon us the gift of foolishness. Praise Folly. And so it's actually really funny the way it's delivered, the way it kind of combines these three literary devices to make a masterpiece of a work and to critique society and just expose society as just, it's beautiful, it's beautifully done, and it's just extremely funny and just an enjoyable read. And so basically the goal of every satire is to expose and then call for change. So what exactly is the goal of Erasmus? What is he calling for? So like I said before, Erasmus is a Christian humanist, right? And so being a Christian humanist, he's calling for the church or society going back to the original teaching of the gospel, to humility, piety, just true dedication. And he's also calling out hypocrisy, full wisdom, social performance that kind of keeps people in chains, keeps society just unhappy, keeps society from thriving. And so he's calling for true piety, true humility. He's basically critiquing the practices of the church, kings that flatter themselves, that try to look wise by doing wise things that are actually foolish in reality. He's voicing his critique not through his voice directly, but through Folly. The thing about Folly is that she's just so funny, and she is the goddess of foolishness, right? And so you don't take her too seriously to get too offended, but you also take her seriously because her critiques are sharp and she makes total sense. And so by listening to Folly, and kind of it's like you don't get offended, but you learn your lesson, you learn what you actually understand, what the messaging is. It humbles you, it teaches you true piety, true humility, and just what it means to be a good person, what it means to be a true humanist. And so it's just a beautiful masterpiece of a work, and this is just the start of our series on the book In Praise of Folly. So this is just an introduction, and we're going to explore it deeply. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.